Unmuting, and here comes the intro. Oh.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Super Desperation Radio! Go!
Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio post SoCal Regionals 2016 edition. What a show. If you were able to catch any of the awesome tournaments that occurred over the last weekend, you might recognize the person beneath me currently, commentator extraordinaire Ringe. He does Marvel, he does Guilty Gear, he does KOF, he probably does. You did Street Fighter, didn't you?
I did Street Fighter and I did Killer Instinct.
Jeez, you literally did everything. And this guy doesn't even go out.
Yeah.
You know how much
Hey, he's back on the scene now. He's back on the scene.
No, it's good. I'm glad to see you're back. But I was like, man, like seeing you back just makes me wonder, like, who the hell was doing this for the last year? So glad to see that he's back. So we had to snag him in for a entire episode's worth of grilling about last weekend's event. Of course, in addition to that, we have other events that occurred. There was the CPT event in Milan, where Daigo finally qualified for CPT finals. He's not washed up. Every time you think he's done, every time you think you flushed a rat, he just comes back up the toilet,
See, he did the smart thing. He's like, I can go to SCR. Who's going to be there? Xiao? No, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to this. Yeah.
Who's going to be there? We got, actually, there were some heavy hitters there, I think.
But was there a Xiaohai?
No, there was not a Xiaohai. There was not a Momochi. There was not a Haitani. There was, I think Mago was there. No, Mago was at SCR too, I think.
Mago was at SCR.
Yeah. I'm sure there was somebody.
At Milan, there was Bonchan. I believe top 3 was, or top 4 was Daigo. Whoever he faced in grand finals was Bonchan or Phenom.
Yeah, there we go.
Phenom. I'm still the daddy. Got 4th. I know that much with Guile.
Holy crap.
He's starting to, he's putting in a lot of work with that character.
Good stuff. So yeah, a lot of big things happening this weekend. Probably for me though, the biggest thing just happened like 15 minutes ago, where Mike Ross announced that he is departing Twitch TV, and that's a big deal because a lot of what's occurred for the FGC in relation to Twitch can be traced back to Mike Ross's connection with them. And that was pretty much his job with them, was to sort of liaison between us and the powers that be at Twitch TV. I'm not saying that's just going to stop now, because obviously we have people like Z involved. Twitch works very closely with Evo now. And so I think we're still in good hands, but I would say that the guy that fired the first shot is finally moving on. So I'm sad to see that happen, but at the same time, I hope that he moves forward and upwards into bigger things. I think he's definitely one of the people that can do whatever he wants. I mean, of anybody that does what we do, he's one of the only people that says, I do it for ESPN. So there's a lot of upward mobility for him.
It's kind of funny that Mike has sort of been, he's the vanguard of the fighting game community in a lot of ways. He's always that guy who was kind of doing everything first in terms of getting more eyes on the fighting game community, and for whatever reason he's departing Twitch, and all I can say is that I hope whatever he's moving on to is something he's really excited about, something he's going to be happy to do, because he deserves that.
Yeah,
Mike works too damn hard and has worked too damn hard to be stuck somewhere he doesn't want to be.
It's 100%. And I think, like I said, I think he's a really talented guy. Not a lot of people know that Mike is a filmmaker, before he really got serious about, I guess you could say esports. Before he got serious about that, he was a film student, Me and him actually had a really long conversation about that when I did the CPT interview with him. And I mean, the guy's got a lot of great ideas that probably, I wouldn't say Twitch would hinder that, but like maybe he just didn't have the free time to pursue it. So maybe he gets some time now and some resources to pursue some of that stuff. Or maybe, he's just going to do something that's a little quieter because he's, like you said, he's done so many things. He's been on the forefront for almost everything that we do. Maybe he needs a break, I'd be excited for that if I was him. So good luck to you, Mice.
Yeah, honestly, if I could wish for one thing for him, it would be to do something where he actually makes good money, but he doesn't have to always be in the public eye 24/7, because I know how that can wear on people after a while.
Yeah.
You just burn out. And for him to be able to kind of dial it back a notch would probably be best, because then, he could really... It's hard to be enthusiastic about something, even stuff you love, when you're on all the time.
Yeah, and I think with Mike, like showing his face so many places and constantly doing stuff, like you said, it's gonna wear on your mental state. And hopefully with this now, with him leaving Twitch, obviously that's gonna be leaving a void. But there are people at Twitch, like Hell Pockets mentioned before, that are part of the fighting game community. And I'm hoping that this actually lets Mike take some time to step back and focus on like a bigger picture sort of deal. I'm sure he's got plenty of ideas and stuff he wants to do. So I think like getting away from the constant travel and constant showing his face will allow him to probably bring that to fruition, I imagine.
Yeah. I mean, more than likely, yeah. He just seems like a person who is capable of doing a whole bunch, but now, since he's probably taking a step back, he has the time that he needs to. I'm sure he's got a pretty decent nest egg, so that he can kind of do what he wants. And plus, I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure he can get a job practically anywhere that he would like to as well. So,
who's going to say no to Mike right now,
Nominated Most Washed Up Player 2014.
Damn.
Didn't I say washed up personality?
I don't remember.
Was it? I don't know. I don't know if he was.
Yeah, which one it was.
Washed up personality. Well, you obviously spent more time with the man, even though he doesn't remember you, quote unquote.
We love you, Mike.
Well, I mean, Gibby was the winner of Most Washed Up Player every year before 2014.
He stole your throne.
I thought
man.
that was Hell Pockets.
Wow. Oh.
You have to actually have been good to be washed up.
Oh, wow.
How did this turn into something about me?
I mean, Gibby knows how to make every joke about you.
Jesus.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm like not even Mike Ross. I'm just like, I'm not even anything. I'm just Hell Pockets. I'm just a dumbass.
Wow. Hell Pockets is not good people. That's
Complete garbage.
No, I said Mike has beaten good people.
Oh, okay. Well, Hell Pockets beat Reynolds.
That's right.
In a tournament?
Good person.
It was in tournament.
In a KOF tournament?
Yeah. That's why I got sponsored by Arcade Shock, because
Yeah, I mean, so the story
like the derisive laugh in the background.
The story to how Hell Pockets got sponsored by Arcade Shock. We told it plenty of times, but at Southtown Arcade, I told them, I'm like, hey, if you could beat Reynolds, we will sponsor you. And he beat the shit out of Reynolds. That same exact night, like maybe an hour later. I think.
Well, everybody gets one, I suppose.
I mean, that was the one that mattered, so they haven't let me go
there you
since.
Go. And that's when Hell Pockets learned I'm a man of my word.
Oh yeah, he made it happen too. Like I remember,
that's commendable.
I remember when he did that, he had this look like he's like, holy shit, I got to talk to Vin about sponsoring Hell Pockets, and Vin was like, nah. And then
he said no, but I still made it happen.
He still made it happen. I was like, damn, all right, now I'm sponsored by Arcade Shock, and they don't know why.
Vin's still regretting that to this day, probably.
Yeah, man. It's like, dude, I gotta let him stay in my room every tournament. Damn it. But anyway, good luck to you, Mike. We look forward to seeing your next endeavor, and I'm sure you'll still be coming out to events and whatnot. So, hey, maybe you should want to come on the show now that you're not really tied to anybody. So, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should invite him on and see what he thinks about KOF.
You and I can reach out to him.
Yeah.
We can do it.
But
That'd be fun.
So SCR, Gibby, you were there. You were there. So obviously, there's overall for some of the bigger games, Street Fighter V seemed to be done pretty well. Tekken 7, people seem to be pretty happy. But obviously, there was some. I don't know if it's controversy or if you just want to talk about people having issues with the way some of the Air Dash games were run, specifically Guilty Gear. And then I heard about the KI commentary. So, where do you guys want to start off?
You can do the KOF, the KI commentary, because I only heard like a bit about that from Steve.
All right. So basically, what happened with Killer Instinct commentary was that they put on some commentators that the chat didn't really like. They weren't experienced commentators. They don't do it on the regular, so they weren't up to the expectations that people were expecting for SoCal regionals. Because of that, Valle had to pull Sajam and myself into the position. Basically, it was just it seemed like an outcry from the community for Killer Instinct, and Sajam's been part of that community and been a content producer and been a main commentator for that game ever since its launch. So, and he was a top player at the beginning of it too. People forget that since he's been commentating for so long now. But so he's really close to that community, and he wanted to do it for the community, and he did. And he said, I have commentary fundamentals, which I very much appreciate, and he commentate together a lot. So it was an opportunity to do so, and it seemed like it went pretty well.
That's good.
Cool.
So the response after you guys jumped on was much improved. Like the people were like really happy at that point.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Steve said a lot of people were hitting him up to get on. So he's definitely dedicated to that community. So they don't want to let them down.
Yeah, the first time I ever heard about Sajam was through you talking about KI at like Wednesday night fights at Super Arcade or something. He's like, oh yeah, this is a guy I know, Steve. And I'm like, Steve? He's like, not that Steve, the other Steve. I'm like, oh, okay. I have no idea who this guy is, and then he starts getting on the mic and commentary. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm glad that he made it out.
Yeah, so it was a little wonky. It was a little wonky situation, but the corrections that needed to be made were had.
Yeah.
As far as if you want to talk about the Air Dashers tournament, and one of the things with the Guilty Gear tournament, I believe Mortal Kombat actually had this happen to them too, was that the tournaments were ran half upstairs and half downstairs, kind of like NCR was that.
Oh yeah.
So people don't really like going upstairs and downstairs for all of that. I say that probably the main, in terms of actual running of the tournament, Mortal Kombat went a little long, but that's just how it is. That's with every fighting game tournament. I don't think it's anything. Well, not every fighting game tournament. We obviously have some exceptions, but more so or less than tournaments tend to get delayed a little bit by an hour sometimes due to whatever the circumstances are. But same thing with Guilty Gear. It was ran half upstairs, half downstairs. There was some type of issue, there wasn't enough consoles that had Revelator. That's kind of inexcusable a little bit. It definitely should. I think that's not really something that's usually in the cards for delaying of the tournament. Usually all the consoles are there and stuff like that. So I think that aspect was probably the poorest thing ran for Guilty Gear, in my opinion. Was just that when the tournament started, there was there were less consoles than expected.
Yeah, it didn't seem stellar. Oh boy. So yeah, people definitely seem slighted that Guilty Gear wasn't on the main stage, which is kind of understandable with how a lot of the games go.
Well, then there's actually just such a sizable community for it in SoCal that seems weird that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and wasn't it also scheduled at the same time as Marvel, and you were supposed to be on Marvel commentary as well?
We can talk a little bit about that. I found out I wasn't sure what games I was going to commentate for Top 8 on Sunday till late Saturday. Right. And I was scheduled on Saturday to commentate Guilty Gear Top 16 with Brett. Shouts to Brett, did a great job. Thanks for coming down. And Marvel Top 8. So Guilty Gear Top 16 was supposed to start at 10 a.m. For whatever reason, it started at 10:30, 10:45, a little closer to 11. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, Tekken was going on the main stage. Tekken only had Top 8, Guilty Gear had Top 16. And it turned out that Marvel was the game following Tekken. So as soon as Tekken ended, they moved to Marvel, and we were still in the middle. We probably just had Guy in the Top 8, maybe a little bit past Top 8 for Guilty Gear. Mm-hmm. So by the time Exer was over, I only had Top 3 left of Marvel, and I wasn't gonna go kick off on the commentators when there was only Top 3 left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some scheduling issues for sure. I wish I commentated Marvel. I would have loved to make my return to the game at my home major, but it wasn't in the cards. It's I'm sure it happened for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to take anything away from Marvel. I just also found the scheduling just to be a little odd for the not main stage, just because I remember first announced at SCR, Marvel wasn't even going to be at the tournament. They weren't even going to have a Marvel tournament, and then later it got added in, but Gear had always been there, and then and
then Gear doesn't get any time on the main stage, and they kind of get shafted. They go upstairs a little bit.
Yeah,
it's the tournament was ran. I thought top 16 ran well. I thought it was good that we pretty much got, if not every top 16 match, maybe one or two off. Mm-hmm. So in that aspect, it's good because people got to see all the matches. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like once we started the tournament, it didn't like we didn't take 45-minute breaks or anything like that. There was nothing in between the matches that really extended it. So from that side of the coin, it was all right. It ran well, but yeah, like of course some people really, they come to tournaments and some people might think it's like a petty thing that we didn't get to play on the main stage and all. And obviously it is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that the tournament is ran well. And I think even before playing on the main stage is that for the viewers and for the community that we get many matches shown as possible.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, we want to give the game as much exposure as possible.
Yeah.
Obviously, not being on the main stage kind of hurts that a little bit, but the people who are looking for gear can find it. So obviously, you might not get a lot of new people or people that don't necessarily pay as much attention to it. And it's really unfortunate, but things happen. There are time constraints, and obviously, my condolences with the Guilty Gear fans out there, especially because they really want to be showcased too. They're out there playing their hardest. They want to be up there. And so, like, they got the shaft this time, and it almost feels like a lot of times, like your Arc System Works or other type of games kind of do not get as much time historically. I don't know if that's necessarily even what was in the cards for the game this time, but unfortunately, it just seems that it kind of got through on the wayside. It was still streamed. You can still watch it. It was perfectly fine. But, it's just, I understand it from the player's perspective that it's like, this is a game we really play and enjoy, and we would love the community to grow. And just to kind of get thrown onto the side probably didn't feel the greatest after already having to deal with the tournament issues.
Yeah, and, I'm a player myself, and if I'm playing the game and I'm putting so much work into it and stuff, I don't laugh at people, or I don't heckle at people that want that main stage time. It's a big stage. It's cool. It's a spectacle. You want to be part of it, and I totally get that.
Yeah, yeah. Think about Evo. Hellpockets' Evo moment, even though he was just the one screaming, was on ESPN. Like that was a big stage, and it got showcased on television that was even larger. People that didn't even know about this stuff were just like, "Oh man, what happened?" And that was a really cool moment. So obviously, being less on the public eye by not being in the main area is somewhat of a detriment to the viewership and maybe the people who will consume the product. So it's just really unfortunate that kind of had to happen, but ultimately it seemed pretty good.
Absolutely, improvements can be made for Guilty Gear tournaments, especially in SoCal. Definitely should be made. I don't know if Anime Ascension is the next big one coming up, but I know their priority is anime fighters, so that should be a showcase, or hopefully at least
Yeah, and we definitely got other stuff too, like Frosty Faustings coming up, and other events. So for all you gearheads out there, make your way to these tournaments. There are people that are really trying to push the game forward. They've been doing this for years. So yeah,
it's really unfortunate that happened to Gear, but basically it did not get the main stage time. But what's confusing to me is I'm kind of looking at, they had this schedule, and the schedule ran late both days, and I'm trying to figure out if it was just that they had to have just not allotted time correctly.
Well, on finals day, honestly, I was there at 10 a.m. and not everybody was there at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know about how pools went or anything like that. I'm not sure why those started late, but at 10, I mean, not everybody was there that was supposed to be there for Guilty Gear Top 16 at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
We could have started a little bit earlier than we did. It was a little disorganized during Top 16. Like, people didn't, like, while me and Brett were sitting down, like nobody really wanted to check in for top 16 until Brett told them to. So kind of stuff like that definitely needs to be improved upon.
That's weird. Like, were they just like sidetracked or something, or like
They just like there wasn't really. It didn't seem like for top 16 there was like a dedicated bracket runner. It seemed like the two producers we had were also running the bracket.
That's
So
Really?
yeah. So
that's not good.
While they were like trying to fix the stream or run around and help with other stuff, like there wasn't really a bracket runner. We were just. I think that's why the thing with the bracket also happened where people weren't moved to the right side. It seemed like they had too much on their plate and there wasn't a person dedicated to handling that. Like I said, Brett was the one that told them to run the check-in for everybody that was top 16 to report in. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe
So it kind of seems like there was actually nobody really controlling the Guilty Gear tournament.
Yeah, for top 16 it was the two producers. The two producers were the ones that were basically telling people to play on stream, and that they were the ones handling the stream and trying to run the tournament at the same time.
well, shit.
Yeah, that's not good.
Mm.
Yeah, and as far as the main stage stuff goes, like I feel for people who really wanted that main stage time, but at the same time, I would gladly have given that up had the tournament itself been run fine. And it seems like to me that's a much more important issue, because stuff like that makes people not want to come back.
Yeah.
And that's how you can lose players. More so than, I mean, I understand that people want to be on the main stage and they want the game to get out there. But, we've talked about this on the show before. It's like if people come to and it's their first tournament, or maybe, their first few tournaments, and, everything is really late, or, they can't figure out where they're supposed to go and nobody's helping them and nothing's clear, then they're just like, well, fuck this, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's definitely the reality of the situation.
So, yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then with KOF, there was a bunch of issues with KOF brackets. I don't know if you want to get into that at all.
I mean,
Yeah,
there was a
actually,
lot
we
of
will.
issues with
About it,
KOF, man. Like, they were going pretty hard on it all weekend.
Yeah, it was.
KOF had a lot of delays. There was some type of issue where there were a certain amount of pools, like multiple pools were played with 99-second timer. Which, how does that even happen? That's not the default timer. Like, someone had to come there and change that. For that
I heard about that. I'm like, how did they even get to 99 seconds to begin with?
Yeah. The weird thing about that, those same exact consoles were used the day before, and they were provided by Atlas, and all the consoles were set to 60-second timer.
Really?
Yeah, and I have no idea how some of them got switched to 99. Someone did it.
Yeah.
Between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, someone swapped the timers.
Okay, so Brett said the bracket runner for Sunday morning was late, but I don't know. I didn't even see that dude the whole time. Maybe Brett was probably paying more attention than I was. I don't know.
But I'll say this: even if the bracket runner for Sunday was late, I'm just going to say this: if you are keeping track of the people who are supposed to be staffing your event, somebody should have been informed that person was going to be late, or they would have known that person didn't show up, and somebody should have been, who worked the event, taking care of that. That's a bare minimum thing to me.
Yeah.
That's an inexcusable thing to me.
Also, with Gear, I was told that some of the consoles weren't on the latest version.
For Gear?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
I think it was Steve that told me that. No, Josh.
That's also true that was also happening in Street Fighter 5.
I was told that some of them did not have the DLC characters.
That's probably what they meant.
So I don't know anything. Well, I mean, you could be right too. There could have been consoles that, because I heard what some people were saying that was coming out of the event, and I don't know because this was all secondhand, is that when they were short consoles, that was because some of the consoles they thought they had were missing characters.
That would make more sense. That would be a reason why. But again, like, that's quality control, man. And there's
Completely.
Yeah, and there's definitely tournaments out there that will dedicate hours upon hours to making sure that their setups are on point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just kind of goes in line with a ton of the stuff that I heard. Like I'm hearing in Street Fighter V, not all the console versions were updated to the right version. In KOF, like you said, the timer issue, but also there was an issue on stream where one of the games, one of the consoles they were using didn't have the boss characters in it. Then there's the Guilty Gear stuff. So, I mean, in terms of like KOF, obviously that's a little bit more to do because you actually have to play through the game and beat it. And I mean, that's not a huge deal, but it's a little more involved in like just buying DLC and then making sure it's unlocked. Of course,
even then, you could just swap it out with a console that has the character.
Exactly. Now, the other issue is I'm hearing that there weren't a lot of dedicated consoles for KOF.
Really?
Yeah, like apparently they had. I don't know the exact number, but I know that there was not like more than 2.
No. So there were 8 consoles provided by Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
They were all used Friday, and then Saturday rolls around in the daytime. Before the tournament started, all 8 consoles were still there. Tournament starts. 2 consoles were designated for casual play, and then there were 6 setups after that left over. For whatever reason, someone made the call to remove 1 console from every station and turn them into head-to-head setups. And I didn't know this while I was at the show, or maybe someone told me and I just forgot. But I guess after a certain point, one of those head-to-head setups was also used for casuals, and only 2 consoles were being used to run the tournament. The tournament was very, very late, running way behind, and it was only one person running the bracket not the whole time. At the start, one person was running the bracket. He showed up like 30-40 minutes late. Vaya had to start the tournament himself and hold it until he came. And then what's his name? Ken Chitiel from Mexico or Tijuana. He helped out with running the brackets. When he joined the team, I guess it ran smoother. And someone else helped out with the brackets. I forgot who. I forgot the guy's name, but I know the main organizer for it was Romance, and he showed up like I said about 30-45 minutes late, and I really don't know who made the call to set them to head-to-head setups.
Like for pool play, man, that's a little much.
No, that's stupid for pool play.
Yeah,
there's no other thing to say. Like it was just really bad. Reynolds was waiting. He waited an additional 3 hours to play his pool, and I kept looking at him like, "Oh, how you doing?" "Oh, I haven't played yet." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "My pool hasn't started." I look at the schedule, like, "You were supposed to." What the hell?
They were showing him on the Smash GG thing as like something that was going to be on stream, and they hadn't even started streaming it yet, and like we waited for like at least 2 hours, and then like around I would say 3 o'clock I finally started seeing like movement on the Smash GG boards, and I talked to Elric in for US, and I'm just like, "What's going on over there?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we just started. Like I think we just finished like pool 1." I'm like, "Holy shit, guys!"
Jeez.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then I found this out like an hour ago. I guess so. KOF was supposed to get 4 hours of stream time. We were supposed to do some pool play, and then we were supposed to go down from top 16 to top 8, and all around the event was delayed on Saturday. So not everything was on time, obviously. So KOF was put on stream. Ringe and I commentated like the first bit, and then we left, and the rest of it was done on Level Up. And then for whatever reason, I guess they decided to just stream the entirety of KOF on Level Up 2.
Well, yeah, supposedly it was going to be the anime block Saturday on Guilty Gear. Me and Brett did Guilty Gear on Saturday, and then when we signed off, I told the stream that BlazBlue was coming next, and that's what the producer told me. And then me and Gibby go do KOF, we get done, and then all of a sudden I see KOF's back on that stream. It's not even BlazBlue. So I don't know. I don't even know what happened with the BlazBlue tournament.
I don't either, but I know Joshua was helping with it. He told me on Twitter the tournament would not have happened at all. Or hold on, here you go. He ran the tournament. Top 8 was supposed to be streamed on Level Up 2, but it never happened. KOF essentially kicked us off because KOF ran late, and they ran losers on stream in addition to winners. So they basically streamed the rest of the tournament on Level Up 2, down to top 8. He says the tournament would not have happened if they hadn't offered to stream, or if they hadn't been offered stream time. They only decided to run a side tournament since it would be good promotion for the game if we got our players on stream, which I completely get and understand. I didn't know this at the time. I honestly thought that top 8 was streamed by Joshua, as I said in the pre-show, but I was wrong, and I'm a liar.
I mean, when they as a viewer, when they moved KOF to stream 2 after saying it was going to be on stream 1 the entire day, that was already weird enough. And you guys got like maybe 2 matches, and they're like, okay, now we're going to stream 1. And I'm like, okay, Mortal Kombat just ended. That makes a little sense. We're kind of folding up against like time here, but at least we're kind of getting back on track. And then out of nowhere, they dropped you guys back to stream 2 again.
Yeah, so it was funny for me and Ringe because we commentated like 3 or 4 matches, and after the 3rd match, like, okay, guys, you guys are gonna go for Level Up 1 after this. Like, what the shit?
Yeah,
it was just like serious shit. I sat down, I was comfortable on that damn Vertigear chair because like my back sucks. But that thing, I need to get one of those.
You should have taken it with you. You can just steal those or something, right?
Yeah, I should. We sat on those leather couches. I'm like, man, this is not comfortable. We should be back up there doing this shit. But yeah, I don't understand I understand the logic behind it. You want to give the new game stream time, and on top of that, it's part of the KOF World Cup Tour thingamadoo. But just bouncing from one stream to another and then back to the other stream, just back to back to back, was just really bad. Because they said they had obligation to stream KI at 8 o'clock. So that's why KOF got kicked out. Yeah.
See, that obligation crap is where things get screwed up, because you're like, okay, I can't actually schedule things now because either I adhere to my own schedule or people get screwed,
Yeah.
Well, it's weird too, because they're talking about obligation, and on the schedule there was supposed to be like 4 hours of Guilty Gear being streamed. I think it ended up being like an hour and a half tops.
Shit.
Oh, on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very good.
It was basically all pools were supposed to be streamed to Guilty Gear. That's what it had on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there was, I don't know, 3, maybe half. I'd say maybe half got a few matches each, because it was pretty far by the time they finally got to it. And then there was supposed to be top 8 of BB, and that got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand that BB was a side thing, but you have that on the schedule. Doesn't that mean you have an obligation to it as well?
Yeah, obviously things can change with the schedule, but like, there's definitely people that were looking forward to that. I mean, I would have liked to watch that too, but unfortunately, it just didn't get the time. So it's really weird, I think, in that case, especially a lot with like games or tournaments where it's just like, here's the schedule, we finally released it, and then like everything's kind of slipshod and just kind of falls through the cracks. And that's I think the real travesty is that, I mean, like they always say, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. So obviously there are outside factors that can change a lot of this stuff. But I think that even if you couldn't enter in top 8, I'm sure you could have at least did top 3, top 4, something. Give a little something back. So like, hey, sorry guys, we're like short on time, but we still want to get it to you because they didn't promise anything, but people were looking for it. So that's the real unfortunate part of it.
Yeah.
I think Valle people have been saying that Valle intends to make it up to the community, so that's decent enough at least. I don't know what that means though. Like, does that mean like another event that he'll run somewhere, or maybe he was already planning to do that? Who knows? But
yeah, I think when it comes to running these tournaments, and I think the real unfortunate part is that it just showed like that there's certain games that are prioritized over others, and of course there are, but it shouldn't be so clear. Shouldn't be such a clear line between, this game, has these dedicated commentators, has these dedicated TOs, has this dedicated stream time, and we're going to make sure all that stuff is on point, while the other games are like, if we can get this guy or this guy to do this or that, that would be cool. That's not what that's very disappointing.
You telling me that? Come on.
That's not, like, especially for majors nowadays, that's not what we want out of tournaments. Like, all the games, and I've talked about this before, like that's why I think top 8 commentary is so important, because when you need people on the mic that are going to sell the game as like the game is as important as Street Fighter 5, you know what I mean? That's the most important game. Straight up. I'm not, let's just be real about it. So you need commentators that are as excited as those Street Fighter 5 commentators are. You need TOs. You need to show that these tournaments are going to be run up to the same quality as the ones that really matter, or whatever, however you want to put it. Because then when they're not, that's when you show that it just looks really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they say like, "Oh, this is poverty," Like, why should we? Even
that's where the poverty
name
name came from. Exactly.
So
and what's funny too is that if you're expecting, okay, so tournament prices have been going up, and we've talked about that at length. But the thing about it is tournament prices are supposed to be going up for a reason. It's not just supposed to be about venue. It's also supposed to be about, hey, tournament prices are going up because you're getting this sort of level of quality from the event. And if the only games that are getting that level of quality is Street Fighter 5 and everybody else can just kind of fuck off and things will fall where they will,
yeah,
why am I going?
I'm not saying that like every game got the shout. I'm not even saying that
I know
super chat or anything like that. But every game needs to be treated as
equally
important as exactly. Because that's where that's when you hear, this kind of like these tournaments about combo breaking and stuff like that. These TOs that are good for every game, everything's being ran on time, everyone's having a good time, everybody wants to come back. And that's why those tournaments keep going every year. Like I'm going to Combo Breaker 2017 no matter what, baby. Holla at me.
That's the plan. All of us are planning on that.
Yeah.
I hope we all can make it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was talking about this a little bit on Twitter today, and I said, not even just Guilty Gear or the Air Dash scene, but, Tekken used to have some problems with this as well, because the Tekken scene, in terms of Southern California at majors, wasn't always the biggest in terms of turnout. So they occasionally had problems with stuff like that, with consoles and things like that too. But now, of course, since Bandai Namco and the Tekken Tour took that over, it's basically been, there is the set. Okay, for one thing, I'm pretty sure they bring their own stuff. They have their own commentators already just slotted out. So they basically have their whole production, and they have their whole stream and everything. They basically just bring a truck of, this is our stuff, this is the game. We just run it wherever you are. And of course, it makes everything work.
Yeah, and like somebody in the chat brought up that it is probably very hard to treat every game equally, and I agree, but it just doesn't need to be so blatant. It's so blatant how little attention Guilty Gear got, how little anybody cared about the details of the event. It's so clear to see, and that should not be the case.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing to just be like, okay, we couldn't treat everybody equally because we just didn't have this or that, manpower, or we didn't have enough consoles, or space was limited. But to pretend it didn't happen, you could at least just be like, look, we're sorry, this didn't work the way we hoped it would. And we've talked about this, if you at least apologize and come out and say, look, this didn't happen the way we wanted it to, we're sorry, and don't throw a but on the end like it's somebody else's fault. Just own up to it. Be like, we fucked up. We're sorry. We'll try to do better next time.
Yeah, that's all people want to hear. And, really just strive for the better. Obviously, you could say things and things will fall out as how they may. But, yeah, just, put a little extra effort into it. Maybe I think things go all right. If there was a problem with staffing, if there was a problem with who was working, if there was a problem with, times, then maybe there was something wrong with the integral setup of the tournament. Maybe looking to try and getting more experienced TOs, or people that aren't afraid to DQ certain things because it's really late or something like that. There's a lot of things that I feel like even the small stuff will eventually add up and pile on another hour or two to your tournament. People show up late. I mean, fuck them. Not enough setups. Well, maybe try and look logistically for other people that know the game, or hey, do you guys have any consoles so we could try and get this rolling faster? I feel like there was a couple bandages you could have thrown on it, and it really wouldn't have to. Obviously, that's not the case, and you can't just say that. Be like, oh yeah, they should have just pulled everything together from the community and blah blah blah. It would have worked, because that's obviously not the case. You can't trust on that. You can't rely on that. But from what I understand is that if things are going awry and you're not really doing too much to remedy about it, or you should take this time after your tournament's over to really look and analyze what happened, who was where, what were the time frames, and just kind of really try and bridge the gap that you might have had.
Yeah, and I understand that like TOs have a lot on their plate, more than I can imagine, I'm sure. But at the same time, like because of that, they need to, like there's plenty of TOs out there that do like they nut up and pay the people to help them out, and that's just how it needs to go down.
That's
like
much what I was gonna say. Like some people definitely could benefit from like assistance and whatnot, and avoiding that at this point is just like asking for trouble and being irresponsible. Obviously, there were some circumstances that could have been avoided if people were just on the ball about stuff, or if somebody just wasn't overwhelmed. So, if this keep going.
Or like, what if you tried to like lessen some of the human burdens on someone? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, monetary compensation is going to be a really big factor for why people would care about what they're doing. I'm not saying that they don't, but if you also had somebody that like went around and just like went up to the TOs and just been like, "Here's a sandwich, here's some water," if someone to assist, or if someone like that was also trained in like running brackets as well, along with doing being kind of like go for stuff, making sure everyone was okay. Like, you need to take a bathroom break, I'll hold it over for 10 minutes. If you had a couple people to go around and be able to do that, so that the TOs wouldn't have to think too much about that stuff, like I'm getting hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired. If you could just have something to like, lessen some of just like the regular physical burden that any normal human being has, might also help the way the tournament runs. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I think at the same time, let's say let's say there's no one available. Fucking reach out to somebody and that's in the community that's already doing something. Whether if it was me commentating or whatever. If you telling me that the TO is gonna be late, like I didn't know about this, and Brett said he didn't see the message that the TO was gonna be late till noon when he had already gotten there. But if the communication can go through the proper channels. And say, if one of the commentators needs to also run the tournament until the TO gets there, let us know. Just you have to inform people and make sure the communication is clear. And with that, we'll do multiple things. I'm down to do multiple jobs at the tournament because I want the community to have the best experience possible.
Exactly. That's how I really feel into it. Like what was it, NCR last year? There was no TO for Guilty Gear because they had a family emergency, and so John Troy looked like he was, a little haggard, but he was going to do it. Meanwhile, Wallace and Super Effects just picked up the slack. Be like, yo, look, we can do it. We got time. We ain't in the tournament. Let's just fucking roll it out. So, obviously this wasn't our obligation to do anything, but, we stepped up. We decided we like the game. We like the people. Let's get this ball rolling. We don't want you to have to, like, worry about this. And from that, we pushed it forward and was able to get everything done on time. Everything ran fine. It was a little, weird at the time, but it's just, it was just an effort of the community stepping up to really try and make things run fast. It's not responsible for you, but if you really do care about your scene growing, don't just be like, oh man, everything sucked and nobody did anything about it. You had the ability to step up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the same time, go for it.
I was just gonna say, in some cases, I was watching Street Fighter V pool. They definitely did not DQ a player for almost an hour. It's not only paying people to do it; you need to get people who are competent and people who understand how to run a tournament. Because I was looking at a bunch of different pools here and there, and most people had no idea what's going on. A lot of people still have no idea how to run a bracket, which is the simplest goddamn thing to do. And a lot of people still, till this day, play favorites, and that's never going to change, it seems. People who should be DQ'd didn't get DQ'd. But the moment someone you see in a bracket, like, isn't one of your people or whatever, just DQ them right away. This is the shit people do. And I saw several... I saw and heard of several accounts of this. And it's dumb. You need to have people who know what they're doing. Get serious shit. Get Cap One to run a goddamn bracket running. Like, get Cap One to do it, or get me to do it. My way is different. I just yell at people, and they get DQ'd right away. Cap One is more level-headed and very calm. He DQs you. Well, you were late. Sucks to be you.
I definitely think that it would be really cool for anybody who wants to help do that. Like, if we seriously set up like a TO 101 or bracket running 101.
I feel like that should be mandatory before you judge at Evo. Show up early and get this 1 hour seminar or something,
Yeah, it's really not too difficult. And then at the same time, while certain things can be difficult because you have to deal with a lot of different people, you are going to have some backbone, or you're going to have to really just be like, look, dude, I'm sorry you weren't here. Tournament need to move on. You know, world doesn't revolve around you. If you paid the money to come to this tournament and you cared that much about it, you would have been here on time.
Yeah.
Things happen, shit happens, I understand, but it's not all about you.
Well, you know, in the past, I haven't been to Combo Breaker, but I know at UFGT, when Keats was still running it, the night before the tournament, they would kick everybody out of the ballroom at a certain time, and everybody who was running brackets the next day, they had a meeting. And I assume that's what it was, is basically, here are the rules, here is how you're going to do this, this is what needs to happen. And again, UFGT and I believe Combo Breaker would pay people to run brackets and make sure everything is run right. And I know, God forbid, you have to pay people, but again, you should not have, the community should not have, when they're already paying a good chunk of money, which is like more than $40 for more tournaments these days, they should not have to be the ones running their own event. They're paying a lot of money to be there to enjoy an event. Some of us will do it willingly. You know, like when we did that at NCR, we did it because we were like, dude, this is not going to get run right without us. But not everybody wants to do that, and not everybody should have to do that.
Exactly.
A lot of these people were on vacation, or they just want to have a nice Saturday/Sunday. So there needs to be an apparatus in place, however you do it, to where it doesn't need me, the player, to run my own goddamn tournament. I'm sorry. If I want to do that, I will host a tournament at my fucking house, and I won't charge $40+ to get in.
Yeah. No, you bring this up, and this is the situation I was in at SCR. I had like several of the players come up to me asking me to help out with the bracket and help run it. And I'm like, this is the first tournament I'm at where I do not want to do jack shit. I'm not doing a fucking thing. Like, go talk to Vaya. Like, that's basically what I did. And people were upset with me, and they can eat shit. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like they shouldn't even have to even come up to you. They should have been able to approach them to begin with. That should have been like the first person they go to. Is like, hey, we need more people.
Yeah,
and then have Vaya come talk to you.
Yeah, I had Vaya approached me asking me what was wrong with the KOF tournament, and I told him what I was told by all the players and some of the things I saw for myself. And he's like, no one came up to me and said shit. I'm like, really?
Of course not.
Like, what? I hate that. Like, if there's something going on at the tournament that's hurting the event, you tell the person running the goddamn event. You find him, you tell him. Like, I got to give it to Vaya. Vaya was everywhere. Like, I never saw the guy sit still for more than 30 seconds. He was bouncing around from all over the goddamn venue, inside, and they had stuff going on outside as well. I've never seen him work this hard at an event.
Yeah, and that's why I don't want to like completely shit on SCR, because I saw Vaya with my own two eyes working his ass off.
Yeah,
just that he needed more help.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think Vaya is like, you know, like it's not really his fault so much as it is he was just one man and like he just didn't get the backup he needed. You know.
Yeah,
like,
you know, and it's just a thing that needs to be taken care of. Like, people need reliable tournament organizers. You know, yeah, like I saw Brett mention that. You know, if your game's not that big, there's not a lot of incentive for the tournament to cater to you, and that is true. But I think at the same time, the minimal that a person should expect going to a tournament, regardless if it's an official tournament, especially an official tournament, not just a side tournament, they should expect nothing less than a properly run bracket.
I mean, if I'm paying $40 and so is like the Capcom Pro Tour players, why am I not getting that though?
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest. Look, if I'm not going to be, if I can't expect the bare minimum, then hell, don't make Guilty Gear main event. Make it bring your own console and charge me less. I'll do that too.
Yeah,
shit.
just like spectator pass.
If you wanted to be like, hey, it's $15 to play, it's $10 for entry in Guilty Gear, and you pay $15 venue because it's this community has to do everything themselves.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay. Shit.
I just want to bring up something. What's this guy's name? I don't have my glasses on, but it's like Shin Maruku, I think.
Maruku.
He's saying that the venue was too small. All this, I agree, but they pulled it off. The venue, while it is small, it was easy to get where you were going. It was never cramped anywhere outside of upstairs where Tekken was. there were no issues in terms of the size of the venue. So
Yeah.
that is like that plays no factor into this event.
Yeah, because of the block party outside, and that's another thing that I want to commend Vi and the entire level of staff for Jimmy, for this block party type thing, because it was cool. It was something different. It gave the attendees something else to do, and it was in a pretty good location. And because of the block party thing, because people were doing stuff outside, like Gibby said, the inside venue never felt like we were all in a tuna can or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I serious shit beforehand. I was even expressing this to Jimmy at Evo. I'm like, look, that place is small. It's gonna smell like shit. It's gonna be cramped. It's gonna be hard to do anything. And you're gonna have another final round situation in your hands. He's like, yeah, but I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do it. And they did that shit. And on top of that, people need to understand they shut down an entire goddamn block for SCR.
They did, yeah. It was straight up lined off, cops there, everything. Like,
Nice.
Yeah, so
That shit costs money.
Yeah.
That shit costs a lot of money. And on top of that, they got food trucks. There was Okamoto Kitchen. Okamoto Kitchen brought some of their friends along. Like there were four or five different food trucks there. It was
yeah.
great. Like it was everything they did for SCR was great. The problem is the just logistics for the tournament itself. Like the main reason people go, like players go, didn't really work out well. As a spectator, as someone that's just there to just have fun and enjoy themselves, not enter, it was great. Like it's not like, oh hey, Combo Breaker has all this crazy shit, but it's still better than anything any California tournament's ever done.
So I just want to clarify. So they roped off the street. Was the bar still open?
Yes.
So
Bars are still open.
you like drink on the street, huh?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, like with the street that the esports arena is on, esports arena takes up a lot of the street. So like, there's like bars like to less than 5 minute walk away.
Damn.
That were wide open. There was actually a lot of good food less than 5 minute walk away.
Yeah, and there was a food festival going on 2 blocks down that they gave you a free ticket for.
Ooh.
Shit. I went. Goddamn, that was good. But the only downside is they had some like random hipster guy butchering music. I have never heard a worse rendition of Billie Jean. Like, what the hell? Or Smooth Criminal, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was as an event, as a spectator event, it was good.
So you're saying the presentation was great, but the pulling it off just didn't happen as much.
If you're, I think I said it earlier already. If you were there for the tournament to play, not that great of an experience. But if you were there as a spectator, you had a good time. And the way the vendors were set up really well too. They were all on one side of the room, and then there were 2 vendors outside. Was it 2 or 3?
For what? The food vendors?
No. So, like World 8 was outside.
The goodies and stuff outside. Yeah, I think there were like 2. Machinima was there doing like their live inside esports stuff. They interviewed a bunch of players, a bunch of people from SCR. So they also had like a VR set up there for people to come and try out. So there was definitely cool stuff to do.
Well, I guess that doesn't mean it can't do better next year. Maybe this will be a learning experience, and it'll probably improve next year. Maybe probably be in a bigger venue. Who knows? Looking forward.
I want to mention one time also, but like you said, it was really at the end of the day, I think all the tournaments did accomplish what they needed to. Like they definitely were not ran as smoothly as could have been. A lot of them were ran well, so that's good. And I forgot what else I was going to say, so continue.
The one issue I had, me and almost everyone else had, is the distance between the hotel and the venue. You don't want to take a shuttle. You don't want to Uber to a venue. You just want to be there.
Yeah.
Like it sucked. Like I needed to go. Like I was like, shit, I left something back in my room. Well, not seeing that till tomorrow.
I think the only place that's acceptable is hopefully is at Evo, because
hopefully it doesn't happen again, but we'll see.
Oh, I mean, looking forward. We got another rest of the year coming up, and then 2017 begins, and we got NCR to look forward to. So maybe.
The other thing I was gonna say was that like almost every top 8, pretty much every top 8 was amazing
Yeah,
competition.
really, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, it was definitely great competition all over the place.
So like if you were a viewer at home, man,
Dude, I know you can't swear on the Level Up stream anymore, but man, if I was commentating, I might have dropped some bombs on it.
yeah.
I know
definitely
every
saw-
instance where you would drop all the F-bombs.
Yeah.
I saw Lewis catch himself all the times, and he did it well. You was just like, well, that's really good stuff. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember actually one
Shenanigans.
specific time where I almost let shit out so quick. I was
Somebody like had the,
But he even like prefaced, like he even let out an ass, but like, you know, you can
I
say
did.
ass
I
on,
did let
you
out
can
one
say ass on Fox, you know, you're good, you know.
I mean, yeah. You can even
Oh.
say bitch on WWE, so
it's true.
Yeah.
you get like one bitch per episode. So.
Oh, it's like that. Otherwise, it's
Like-
TVMA.
Yeah, I remember
dropped
like
two.
Chris Jericho used to take them all up in like one like sentence. Sanctimonious son of a bitch. Damn it, Chris.
But no, the level of competition did seem really high, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Finals day, can't disagree with that. Even games I don't normally watch, like I like MKX, but I haven't followed it at all. And what I saw top 8 was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. They did some wonders with that patch. And I haven't heard any complaints about it from the Mortal Kombat at all.
You know, it's funny because I was really happy. I was really happy, and I was really surprised to see the turnout MKX. I know they had a good pod bonus, and it was a huge one. But still, Southern California has not in the past had really great turnouts for Mortal Kombat. Not since like when MK9 first came out. So that was good to see.
And like the who's who of NRS players were there.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
top 3 was Scar, Wound Cowboy, and Sonic Fox.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Wound Cowboy, I think he's from NorCal. I'm not sure if he's still there. So sometimes he would come down to SCR, but yeah, I don't know where Scar's from, but I don't think I've ever seen him at SoCal Regions before. I could be wrong before.
I can't remember.
But yeah, Scar, MKX, great top 8. And yeah, I think Finals Day for majority of it was well done. Like we said earlier, you know, Guilty Gear not ran as ideally as we wanted, but at the same time, pretty much all of the top 16 matches were shown. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you got to see the competition. You got to see, like, we didn't miss Dogra versus Fu in that first one. That was an amazing match. I'm glad that happened. So, you know, improvements can be made as with every tournament, but I thought overall SCR was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a tournament. Yeah, I never really hear about a tournament where people were just like 100% the best I've ever been. Like, they said they're the best, but like there was no problems whatsoever. Everything was peachy. Like, there's always going to be complaints, and there's always going to be plays people can improve, and you know there'll always be more in the future. So, honestly, any shortcomings that may have come from this tournament will just be rectified for the next one. Because I mean, at this point, you practically got a whole year. You know, unless Vi decides to throw something else before that. So
I'm sure he's got something in the pipeline.
yeah, I mean, it seems like he was trying to do more events, like even like smaller ones. But like for the next big one, maybe he'll be like, okay, we got to get these people or something like that, or you know, even maybe try and mentor some people just at Wednesday night fights in the local community. Be like, hey, did you want to help out? Maybe.
Bro,
Yeah.
Tony has been abducted by aliens. I'm sorry that we will no longer be having him on SDR going forward.
What?
Instead, he will be replaced by the
Still
Fighters
going.
commentator right here.
Holy
Who we
crap!
get Echo from?
You went to full alien mode for a second there, but you're
Did
fine.
I didn't know Alien.
Who's got the echo going?
Guys,
I don't
we're
know
getting
if
that
that
go
was
from someone.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Check. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. That
it's
wasn't
gone.
me, man. Damn it! What the
Oh, it's
hell?
Lewis.
There it is.
Oh, so my audio was my audio then. Hold on, let me rejoin the call.
To think we have this guy on as a guest,
Oh man.
and he does
Rejoin
the
the
echo.
call. Well, this thing seems like a good time to actually get to the questions that were tweeted to us. So when we no, it's doing it again. Okay.
No, he's good. He's good. Activate your camera, guys.
So the Hound asked Renge, well, pretty much everybody, when is he gonna put someone through the FGC Spanish announcer? Do we even have one?
I mean, I can make one.
Yeah, we can just make one and then we can put the Hound through it.
Well, technically, KOF top 8 Wasn't that the Spanish announce table technically?
I mean, close enough. I mean, you had Abe and Renge, so
Yeah,
close enough.
Worked out.
Yeah.
I can't speak Spanish. I am half Mexican, but you know.
I definitely think you guys did a great job, though. Like, not just saying that just because you guys are my friends. It's I think I would have enough gall to tell people that I like if they were shit, and I definitely think that you two on the mic was some of the best commentary I've seen from the SoCal scene, especially for King of Fighters as a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, big ups to the players. It's real. I mean, I don't get to talk about commentary a lot, but it's real easy for me, at least, to do commentary when the play is dope.
Oh, yeah, man.
Was that KOF 14 play so sick? So that
Yeah.
Just watch Shanghai just steamroll everybody and losers. Like, well, my job's done. We got another one that's actually probably more directed at you. Red Mage asks, what is it like commentating multiple games? Do you change styles at all depending on the game? What always stays the same? Huh?
Yeah, I really like this question. So with commentary, I don't think it honestly is that different from game to game. When you get the like say Jam said, I don't know if Red Mage was able to catch the KI top 8, but Say Jam was like, yeah, I chose Renge, which he did. You know, he got to ask for who he wanted for his co-commentary, and he mentioned me, David, and James. And I think all three of us have really good commentary fundamentals, as funny as that sounds. But at the same, like when you commentate a game for a while, it's not just about the video game that's in front of them. It's about the players, it's about the stories surrounding them, it's about what's going through the players' heads. When it comes to playing fighting games, like regardless of what fighting game you play, like a lot of the feelings, a lot of the thought process, a lot of the motivations going into the tournaments are the same. So when you can get those across, when you can get the drama of what's going on inside the player's head across, I think that's what really stays the same. What changes is, you know, what the game is, and what in certain type of games, like I don't really feel like there's that much that you take from game to game that's not just about the game itself. Like, I think really important part about commentary is more than the game. It's talking about the players, is building them up as these characters, as these personalities that have so much invested into it, because they do, man. When you're at top 8, these players put in so much work. Every single one of them put in so much work to get there. And I think commentators don't really, for the most part nowadays, commentators do get that across. But I think that's what matters when it comes to commentary, is talking about the players and telling their story, and really getting across the drama of what's happening on a personal level, not just the game level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a good answer.
Yeah, and I mean, so you commentate a lot of these fighting games, you know, just like a supplemental question. But like, you're obviously a big fan of Dota 2. And I would probably think that at some point, you know, you'd like to do commentary. You'd sometimes do it a little bit just on stuff that you watch. But like going into like a completely different genre, do you still think that a lot of the basics still are going to be what you want? You know, like does it help you to commentate one game and then go to a completely different genre, like your CS:GOs or your Overwatch, something like that?
Yeah, like I really do think, like, obviously when it comes to a different game, there's gonna be like, I know what to talk about when it comes to fighting games. Like, since fighting games are one-on-one, you can talk it, like, that's, I think, a big asset for fighting game commentators, is the one-on-one type thing. You can talk about, you know, the players, what the players going through, their relationships with their opponent, whether there is one or there isn't one. You can talk about that. You know, it's interesting either way, whether this person's the training partner, in the case of like Beautiful Dude and Fu, or they've never played each other before, like Dogura and Fu. You know what I mean? Those are both things that I'm sure they actually have played each other. That's just an example I'm thinking of. That's the type of thing. And I think with like team games, I think that's where the type of contrast would come in, where it would be harder because you have to kind of revolve it around the team. But at the same time, I just like thinking it's making it about the players and making sure that you get across how much work they put in and how much blood, sweat, and tears they have sacrificed to get there.
Well, the thing I would actually say that you can watch a lot of different sports commentaries, and like, you know, most of that stuff is team based, and usually a lot of team based sports are like, you know, the commentators don't actually say that much. It's more about the big plays, and then in between big plays there's like, you know, stats and analysis, and like then there's a story building on specific players. Whereas you watch something like boxing or MMA, and like, you know, Joe Rogan is just going all the time, you know, like there's no real resting in there. It's just like it's literally play by play until the round ends, and then they might do some analysis or whatnot.
I heard about this. Did any of you catch this James Chen Tetris stream? I heard it was super legit as well.
I saw bits of it. It's really good.
Yeah, I wanted to check that out.
Yeah, I have to watch it in post because I definitely didn't even hear about it until now.
I would say the one other big difference that would come in for games like when you switch from games like Dota or League to fighting games or even to FPS like Overwatch or CS:GO is the pace is going to change. The way you speak, like, and how much what you're picking out in games, especially games like Dota, you have a lot more time to develop a thought in most cases, except unless it's a big team fight, and then you have to pick it up really fast. But you can sort of develop thoughts over a longer scale as opposed to fighting games where everything is happening right now. It's so much more.
Yeah, I didn't think about it much, but the team aspect definitely wasn't something I was thinking about when I asked the question. So, like, yeah, that's definitely right. So I wonder if, like, fighting game commentary would be even closer aligned to how someone would commentate Quake Live, you know, like one-on-one kind of deal. So, you know, I don't know.
You know, I haven't actually watched a lot of Quake.
Oh, it's just instant games after someone gets a roll. Usually it's pretty funny.
I wouldn't hearken it close to anything. I think it's just its own beast altogether. Like, there's probably a lot of things that you can do as a commentator in fighting games that you just can't do anywhere else, and vice versa, you know?
Yep, exactly. And yeah, I think that point and Paul's point are really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
All right.
We got
some more of these questions.
Another question, huh? All right, let's see. Let's keep them coming. We got one from Salonius asking, no way SCR goes back to Esports Arena next year? I mean, I think it will.
Can't say that. It definitely could.
Yeah, they seem to pull it off this year. I don't see why they wouldn't do it next year.
In terms of venue size, like, yeah, like me and Gibby said, it really wasn't that big of an issue, at least in our opinions.
Like, it sounded more like they needed to just manage time better, but I don't think the space was ever going to be an issue. Like, I guess the only thing that could happen.
They already said it wasn't that big of an issue about the space, and with a year to refine it and to think about it, I think that it could end up being even better next year.
I mean, the one thing that I would expect to happen next year is probably the game list is not going to be as bloated. That might be the one thing that happens.
The one thing I would like next year, I would like a different venue, not because this was too small, but because I don't like things being separated. I want it all inclusive in one room. Having to go inside, outside, do different things was kind of annoying. I usually tend to leave only to eat or use the restroom or whatever. But in this case, like, oh, you know, I got to go to the BYOC outside. The one thing I did like is they had a little viewing room outside, or viewing tent outside, which was really nice. And a bunch of people were just chilling there. Only downside is you had a bunch of dipshits smoking in there. Yeah.
Are you not supposed to?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I was going to ask, I know it never rains in Southern California, but how would that have affected everything?
I kept bringing that up to everybody. While it was under tents, those are definitely not waterproof tents. Machinima would have been screwed over completely because they didn't have any tents.
Yeah, the inside esports little thing was definitely just.
And it definitely was sprinkling Sunday morning at like 1 or 2. Like we got back to the hotel and there was water falling from the sky, and I'm like, nope. Like, I want some, but we don't need it right now. I don't want this event being canceled or more like screwed over.
That's a pretty wing and a prayer kind of situation there.
Yeah, because even though California's always sunny or whatever, this is about the time it starts to rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
It dumped.
And
on
I was worried
Jeffrey,
about
too.
that from the beginning. When I heard, we're gonna have things outside, I'm like, ugh, elements. And it was windy 2 of the days. And I know one of the artists outside had all of her like sales prints just up, and they were just blowing like crazy in the wind.
Oh shit!
Man.
That's what I said. They're gonna blow away. I'm like, oh, there goes like $800. CJP asked if KOF 14 could only have one additional character as DLC. Highly unlikely. What past KOF character would you want to make the cut? I'll go last because everybody knows my answer.
No, I'm gonna go last. I'm the old man. We let Ringe go first
Age
because
before beauty?
he knows KOF better than you do. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Damn.
I'm actually so mad he clarified past KOF characters. I was gonna say some wild shit, but he.
Oh, phone's going off. Sorry about that, folks.
KOF character. Man.
Can I say one, Ben?
Yeah,
we're gonna wait.
please. Why?
So definitely, there's a lot of characters that I would want, but if I only have one, and if it was going to be realistic, I would want it to be Hinako. Gotta have my sumo wrestling in there. Gotta kick everyone's ass, slam them against the wall, throw their ass, fucking make them dizzy. Unrealistic. Someone from Jin Fuha or someone from Breaker's Revenge. Doesn't have to be Talon, just like someone else.
So mine's obvious. Market Wolf Terry.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Oh my god.
This guy doesn't even play Terry in Market Wolves.
Oh,
I said Market Wolf Terry from KOF 11, obviously.
oh yeah.
Dead, but sure, okay.
Come on.
I gotta say either Vanessa or Bijane.
Those are good.
Yeah, I like those.
A lot of people want Vanessa.
Yeah.
I guess
Wow.
Blue Mary would be more realistic.
You took your pick, Vanessa?
No. I was saying waifus. I'm
Oh,
disappointed.
wife is hey, Terry's not a wife.
Hey, I like
he's not
Hinako for the sumo, not the wife who has me.
No, Terry is definitely your wife. Who I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking
Terry's pretty good in the dress.
about. Lewis?
My pick. I don't think he's in the KOF 14. Is Shenwu.
Ooh,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
He's not.
Spencer. Put Spencer in.
That's what I'm saying. That's a win.
My realistic pick would be Hydern. My unrealistic pick would be Franco Bash.
Yes. Hey, I can see him coming back better than some other characters.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely,
yeah, Bash and
definitely
KOF.
Hydern was the next character on my list.
I got another one. I got one more, guys.
What's up?
T-Zoc.
Oh, you're right. He's not in the
Yeah.
game. Fuck.
I would like him
They're
back.
talking about costumes already, so where's my T-Zoc costume for King of Dinos?
No,
Why
it's
would
gonna
you
be a
do
T-Zoc
that?
costume for Daimon, stupid.
See, that makes more sense. Like, why would you give King of Dinosaurs?
A
King of
chicken
Dinosaurs is a dinosaur, and on
Hashtag
top of
kid.
that, he's a heel.
Hashtag KK.
Man. But yeah, like I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, there you go." Already in the chat, I was gonna say a lot of people would say American sports team.
Ooh.
I agree. I always want them in the game.
If I
but
could only have
the
one,
one character that I love to death, it's specifically 2K1 Hydern. Like, I love Hydern in every game, but 2K1 Hydern with normal motions and not charge motions. Oh, Hey.
Heavy basic as well.
Yeah, no. If I had to pick, if okay, so let's say American sports team. This is for all you guys, and you only pick one of the members of the American sports team. While I am a heavy D player through and through,
you're gonna
I
go
would-
with Brian.
No, I'd actually rather have Lucky.
Wow.
Lucky
Oh,
is
wow.
the character I would want the most in the game if it had to only be one of them.
Is it because you're a Lakers fan?
No, because
No,
first
he's
of all,
a
he
fan of
balled them up,
thuggery.
and apparently, according to SNK kayfabe, he was trained by Mizoguchi's dad, so it'd be like a little bit closer to getting Fighters History Dynamite character in the game again. That was fucking sick when I found out. I'm like, dude, they did it. They tied it all together.
No. If I were to pick someone from the American sports team, it would definitely be Cool Guy.
Oh wow!
He is the best. All right. Kuroko has nothing on him. All right.
So we have another question. This one's coming to a friend of the show, one DJ Cream, Daryl Bunwau. I think I said it right again.
But now,
Bunwau. With most of the FGC tournament scene in the books, what's everyone's favorite matches this year? I feel like this is going to take a while.
I feel like I can't even answer this question because I've been working too much to be even able to watch anything.
Like, I don't want to be fake.
We're doing FGC matches of the year now.
Match of the year.
We gotta give star ratings.
MLTY. Well, I mean, 5-star match rating. Even though this was before release of KOF 14, I gotta say mine pretty much automatically goes to El Rosa versus Xiaohai at Evo. Like, definitely got the first shot fired off for this game, like in the most magnificent fashion, and it hasn't really slowed down since. So. That's definitely my.
We're gonna start a newsletter. We're gonna like eventually people are gonna be like, "Yo, Ringe gave that match 5 stars. Did you see that time?
He's out of his gourd,
man."
Well, yeah, that's my pick.
I wish I could say
mine. I don't really. So I don't keep track most of the stuff. So I'm just gonna go with SCR. It was Pedro versus Romance.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
That match, I was losing my shit that match for so many reasons, and the fact that Pedro pulled it off in the end made me so happy because I said this to everyone going in. I want non-SoCal players to do well at this tournament because I'm sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, you know, only SoCal's relevant in King of Fighters here in the States."
Yeah, nah.
NorCal's relevant too. Damn it, we got LeBron.
Yeah.
Seeing like Pedro do really well made me happy, and I don't know the guy. Like I just met him at SCR. I'm just happy he did that. And on top of that, or after that would be I didn't see any of his matches, but I want to say any of the matches that Chris KOF was in because that guy is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Chris KOF.
That man.
I was talking about that too with everybody when I was watching it. I'm just like watching him play. He's got the biggest smile. He's always the nicest person. Every time I go to a tournament, hits me up, recognizes me. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you made it. I'm having a great time, having fun." I'm like, Chris KOF, you're the fucking best. He's the man.
No, he is.
Big shout out to that guy.
Shit, yeah.
Man, I really don't know. Like, there's.
I actually have one, but it became a 2-parter, which is what made it even better in retrospect. Which was at Evo when 310 put who was that in the losers during Guilty Gear? Was that Ogawa he put in the losers?
Oh,
yeah, and then they had to run back later.
Yeah.
Because those were some amazing matches.
I didn't actually get to see this, but those were.
I don't really have one off the top of my head that I want to say that's truly like something that was just like, oh my god. Obviously, I thought a lot of the SCR competition was really good. But one thing I do want to bring up was post Evo, I think it was. I can't remember what specific tournament, but I'm pretty sure it was Evo. It might have actually been more recent than that. Where Fab played Marlon Pie. And really, this pains me to say this, but it was just too good. And it's a moment that sticks out in my head from this year when Marlon Pie got danger timed and 100%ed by Fab's Potemkin.
Damn.
I'm obviously a Zato player, and I lose to Potemkin more than I should, so it really does hurt to say this. But when you get danger timed and just straight up 100%ed, 100%. I gotta give it up.
Pack it up.
Oh man. Nice.
This one's actually for Renz. I don't know if this is true or not or real, but EX Wild Wolf wants to know what's your favorite animal.
What's my favorite animal? I'm a big animal person. Just to let everyone know, I've had dogs all my life, so dogs are up there. But in terms of not a pet, favorite animal is probably like a penguin.
Really?
What a dichotomy.
You sound a lot like my cousin.
I'm gonna co-sign this penguins.
Yes,
right here.
penguins are dope, but
penguins are so sick.
You can own a penguin. You can have a penguin as a pet.
You can?
Okay, that's okay.
You can own anything as a pet.
I feel like that's like really high maintenance.
No, penguins are not high maintenance.
I like penguins. I like snakes.
Do you like your snakes on planes though?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
Not afraid. Cero miedo. When it comes to like, oh man, yeah, and probably rhinos.
Is it because they spear and gore?
Yeah, rhinos are just so sick.
I don't sweat rhinos.
And what is the thing? What was I TZ obsessed with? Hippos? Hippos are
hard. Yeah, he is. He loves them.
Hippos
are killing machines.
But definitely, like, off the top of my head, dogs and penguins are my 2 favorite animals.
We got time for one more?
Yeah, you guys don't want to see what your favorite animals are?
I mean, one more question. I don't got no favorite animal.
I mean, penguins are mine.
All right.
My favorite animal rotated a lot. It was a long stint where it was alligators. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. I love dogs too. Dogs are great. While I love dogs, I'm not a cat hater, but I'm pretty indifferent to cats. They have to be a good cat for me to actually really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, to get more specific on the dog thing, I actually had big dogs all my life. When I was born, they had my parents, I forgot when they actually got, probably when I was 2 years old. Ever since I can remember, I've had a big dog. Like, I grew up with 2 Rottweilers, they're both passed away now because it was when I grew up, but love them both with all my heart. And now I have a pit bull, which he is, I mean, I know the reputation they have, but goddamn, you just gotta meet him, and he is the most lovable.
I mean, it sounds
your
like
dog is pretty sick.
Like, I don't want to.
He didn't, he only wanted to lick people. He didn't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but if I close my eyes, it almost sounds like you're talking about Luca.
That is Luca. Mine, obviously, turtle. Turtles and tortoises. I love them both.
Tortoises.
Alligator snapping tortoises, which don't exist. I like.
My favorite animal recently became a shark because I saw
Sharks are dope.
I saw that video of like that dude like trying to feed the shark inside the shark cage, and then like the fucking shark just jumps in the fucking cage with him, and they're like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Oh my god, that cage didn't do anything," and then the shark just comes at the top of the cage like, "I'm out of here."
Peace.
Yeah, the shark was pretty cool.
So you said you have another question?
Another question from NorCal native Reiki Quito James Alderson. With KOF 14 will be launching on Nezuka X Live 2 as an arcade game. This helps Asia, but can it help hurt North America and the KOF community? Clarification, this lets updates come faster or testing happen faster. Nezuka X Live 2 is not out yet and is usually Asia only. So I guess he's wondering if will they be getting stuff before us?
X Live as part of Round 1 infrastructure, I assume Nezuka X Live 2 will probably use the same infrastructure, maybe with just upgraded cabinets?
So I don't think this will hurt the North American community at all, as long as we have parity updates between the arcade machine and the consoles.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do anything like, we're going to put something just on arcade for a couple of months to let the arcade make its money, and then give you guys your console update, after that and let you catch up.
Yeah, as long as they don't do that, as long as everything is pretty consistent, maybe they could be like a month in downtime or whatever, because historically people are like, I don't want to play this version, I want to play the new version. And so I'll just wait for the new version to come out. That's the only issue I could see if we don't have parity updates between the two of them, but otherwise I think it could only help the community whatsoever.
I mean, shoot, like this, and KOF 14 is not the only game that's coming out for Nezuka X Live. We're having Street Fighter 5 finally. There's going to be a Chaos Code update.
I know, right?
Wow.
Soon finally showed up.
Yeah, soon finally showed up. And I don't know if it's like a new update or if they just finally making it for a newer generation of arcade boards. But, there's a lot of stuff happening for arcade fighters. And I think that's only going to expand the pool of players across the world. And it's going to happen mostly in Japan, China, Korea. And it's going to be great, And I'm hearing that, at least with Street Fighter 5, you can play people online with the PC version.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so the arcade players and the PC version players will still be able to play each other. So that's interesting. I kind of want to see how that turns out.
I still think it'd be cool if Nezuka somehow teamed up with Steam or something and just be like, hey, you want Nezuka games at home? Come get them on Steam.
I mean, I agree with you. I think
that's like a dream, though. I doubt that.
It's a dream, but it makes perfect sense, and it's something that I think Steam probably, Valve probably looks to gain a foothold in Japan somehow. And
yeah, I mean, if you really want the Asian market, especially Japan, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, and considering, and I know this is probably nothing, but Blade Arc has just came out on Steam, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's like the freaking spitting image of AllNet, so why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
So
did they say Gear was going to be on Live 2 as well?
AllNet?
What'd you say?
Is Guilty Gear going to be on Nezuka Live 2?
I think it's stuck with Sega for now. I think it's going to be on AllNet.
Yeah, because it's like definitely it's like an all night game. But I saw some other all night only games that are also going to be on like live too. It looked like.
Okay.
Like I think they said Eunice might be on there too. So I was like, oh well.
Hello.
Yeah. It'll just really depend on, I think, like what the big difference between NESCA X Live and NESCA X Live 2 is. If it's just basically an upgrade of the whole thing, I assume we would probably get it since Round 1 already has a deal with Taito for NESCA X Live. So with Round 1 expanding all over the United States, I think the United States would have that as a possibility. Of course, it wouldn't be in every city or anything like that, but it would still be there. But if it's something completely different, then it remains to be seen.
What's interesting, because like, you know, you've got like these games that are coming out for arcade now, no word on whether or not they're going to be much different than the console version which came before it, but the point is the console version came before it, you know? Like, there may not be any actual catching up to do. And SNK has actually operated like this for some time now, where they've put out a console version and then we're like, hey, we'll make, you know, KOF 13 Climax. Finally update the arcade version to the console version. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything to worry about in terms of like who's going to be able to have access to what early on. I mean, if anything, like, not only is the console version getting first crack at some of this stuff now, but not even Japan is. Like, it's coming out in America first.
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, if you were alive like during the 90s and you were a Guilty Gear player, and if somebody told you one day you might have that before Japan, you'd been like, what are you smoking?
Yeah, right. All right. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
It'll be good. It'll be good times. We got a bright future ahead of us, and 2017 is going to start fairly soon, and it's a whole new year of stuff to look forward to and tournaments to save up money for.
Yeah.
I just want to say that really loud just in case people didn't know they had to save their own money to go to tournaments.
No, you know what people do to go to tournaments? They get sponsored. And sometimes they get very unique sponsors, like M-Dash did for King of Fighters 14, like being sponsored by Sanwa Denshi.
Yeah.
Really?
The Japanese parts company.
Really?
They definitely picked them up. News broke today. There's an article on PvP Live about it. Sanwa put up a tweet talking about it, and I'm almost positive they picked him up because he's one of the strongest KOF players in Japan and has a very good chance of making it to the KOF Cup.
Yeah. They have a qualifier in Japan.
Do you know? He won the qualifier in Japan?
I don't know if they've had one, but I'm pretty sure if they do, he's like...
Toshinsai?
I don't know. They did not say if whether or not that was a qualifier.
You see, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a very brief rant here. This is an issue.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell's a goddamn qualifier. We need to know now. Like, now. Because, it'd be nice.
Be nice to know what we're talking about half the time.
We know what? We know two, right? It's SCR and Canada Cup.
3. Those two, and there was one in Mexico.
That's right.
And then there was a scene as well. So that's 4.
Southeast Asian majors also. So there's 5.
And so that's...
Oh, 4. So 4.
So that's out of, they said 16. So this will be interesting.
Assuming 16. Shit, man.
Yeah. So far, 4 have played out. That means we can assume there are 12 more qualifiers. We don't know when the finals are taking place.
Are there even 12 more events before, like, 2017?
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
We don't know. So it doesn't have to be before 2017. We don't know.
Early 2017, right?
Oh, so early 2017 technically can be like the first half.
Like May.
Yeah, I was going to say first quarter, but damn, you just went the first half? Okay.
No, yeah, that's what happens sometimes. Just as early, don't you remember Mortal Kombat was supposed to drop early 2017 or 20, whatever the hell? Like, I think Mortal Kombat 10 or 9, and then what? Oh shit, it came out late April. Oh, okay. That's not early. That's technically late, second quarter, which is almost part of the first half. So
yeah, they didn't say quarter; they said early, so they were slick about it. We don't know shit.
But good for him. He is a solid player. People like him.
Yeah, I'm actually. This means 2 things. One, that first of all, somebody is taking KOF seriously enough to sponsor people for this tournament series, so that's good. That gives it a little bit more of a legitimacy that I wouldn't say it's lacking right now, but it definitely doesn't hurt to have it. 2, M-Dash obviously comes from a community of players that a lot of people respect, And while he is one of the stronger players there, I definitely don't think he's the strongest player there. And so I'm kind of hoping, like, hey, some of those guys show up and say, you know what, you think you sponsored the wrong guy. I think you should have given a look to, well, I wasn't going to say Picnic, but, you know, maybe Anime, what that guy's name is? Anime Sommelier or some shit like that. I can't remember all the old KOF player names. They're all weird and stuff.
You're right.
Infinity, man. What happened to Infinity? Dual on God.
My thing with this is now we have a new player in terms of sponsors in the scene. We can always benefit from having more sponsors in the scene, and this can only be good unless somehow Sanwa botches this sponsorship, because while they're an established company, they've been around forever, they've never sponsored a player. So they could screw it up somehow. I'm hoping they don't. I don't think they will. I have worked with the company before in the past, so I would assume that it's going to go smoothly. And yeah, hopefully this, like, more people see this and they're like, hey, yeah, you know what? Sano's doing it. Hey, Seimitsu, why don't you guys do it? No one knows who you are. What? There's Seimitsu stuff. Yeah, sponsor a player.
Couldn't hurt. And they're creating a market for KOF 14 pro players. So it's a win-win all around, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got to get out of here because we're over time, and people. Well, I guess you don't have to watch Raw because I've already watched the entire episode in Rince's background. So
you didn't get much sound, so
that's actually better because I'm pretty sure it was horrible.
Way to watch Raw.
Yeah, let's mute it and just be like, this is hilarious.
Rinse me with 30% attention paid.
Yeah. And speaking of sponsors, I forgot one of Ringe's good buddies is a sponsor, Justin Wong. You know.
Yes.
Sponsoring people to go to Canada Cup. You know, just be a good player. He'll send you out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what Justin's doing right now. Put your name on the map. Prove that you're worth the damn, and he'll definitely look your way.
Oh, yeah.
And think about it this way. He's not a company. He's a person. He's offering to fly you out there. That shit's sick. I only know of one person.
Awesome, actually.
Yeah, I only know of one person who's done that in the past with a player. Yeah. Anyway. No, but it's cool that he's doing it, and I hope that the people he offers it to are able to take it and just go. And good shit. Like, Justin is doing the community a good service by doing this.
All right.
Sorry, Spider.
And with that, I think nobody has any last minute thoughts, correct?
I think we are done. Yeah.
Hold on. One last thought. Fuck the Cubs. Go on.
Okay.
Oh wait, all of us on the Game Goons channel, if you hadn't, we had a show today this morning. It disappeared. A little unfortunate, but it was our inaugural episode. So
I got an 8-1 streak KOF online.
Sure he did. Anyways, twitch.tv/GameGoons. If you just hit us with like a sub or whatever, you can catch a lot of King of Fighters 14 content. It's going to primarily be our focus. There are a lot of stuff in the pipeline coming out, so it'll be a pleasant surprise when you come see it. I think you'll definitely enjoy it. So yeah, definitely give that a show.
All right. I'd like to thank Ringe for coming on. As a friend of the show, he's always welcome here to come shoot the shit with us.
Sir, I would like to thank you guys for having me on once again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
He's gonna be back on soon, trust me.
Got a very special episode.
So, all right, that about wraps it up. From everybody here at Desperation Radio, thanks for listening, and good night, and good luck.
Good fight.